Hey, it's you. We're glad to see you. Come on in.
We have a collaboration today between Aylsworth's Razors and MacDuff's Soap Company.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, we're so glad you're here. Thanks for coming by. Yeah. And if you happen to be here during the live premieres, would you do us a favor and drop in and say hi in the chat? We'd love to meet you.
We would. And for our mentions today, we are going up to Canada to show you off some razors.
Yeah, these are our Aylsworth razors. Yeah. This is my coppercont. It's made out of brass. Coppercont means brass in some form, I'm told. And it's a beautiful razor. It's got a different architecture from the rest where it sits kind of, kind of narrow on the top, and it's got a kind of a different angle, but I have the plus plate and the regular plate, and they both do very different things. And then if y'all are looking for an aluminum that might throw a little bit of a curveball into your game, because the only problem I have found with this Apex razor is that I get 2 BBS to shave, and I almost can't even shave the next day. Y'all, this is a delight to have in my shaving cabinet. Both of these.
Yeah, this one has a different weight to it, which I really do like. It helps you find that angle, and that one's much lighter, but it has a great angle on that one too. So we go back and forth. I gotta say, they're good friends.
Yo, and they ship immediately. Their customer service is amazing. So y'all, thank you so much for these. And we were so excited to see that you had a soap release in collaboration with one of our favorite soap makers. And, you know, we had a few members of the community reach out and gently demand we do this one. Let's meet the soap. All right, y'all. So from the sales page at aylsworthrazors.com, the Northman is a limited collaboration between MacDuff's Soap Company and Aylsworth Razors, providing a remarkably original fragrance journey that pays homage to the spirit of brave adventure in the Viking tradition.
And I gotta say, if you see that label, my goodness, that was enough right there.
It's been since Christmas time that we've had a good fur evergreen, I think, so I'm excited about this one. And continuing on.
An endless starry expanse unfolds overhead. You breathe in the crisp evening air as you take your first step on a perilous journey across Norway's rugged alpine woodlands, guided by the soft luminescence of an aurora borealis, with only ragged pelts and furs to shield you from the biting cold. You grip your trusty skigox,
Absolutely. We're buying that, yes.
And move silently through the dense forest, eyes trained intently for signs of your elusive prey. You are the Northman.
I love that it mentions the aurora borealis, because my mama passed away on Mother's Day this year, and it was an interesting phenomenon, but somehow, for some reason, the aurora borealis could be seen in Florida and Texas. Yeah. So this is very cool.
It is.
It's kind of mentioned here. We were told that there are evergreens and evergreens and evergreens, and this is the one to get. So y'all, let's open the box.
All right, all the way from Canada, here we go.
Excited.
Well, lots of popcorn for everyone.
There we go.
Hold on. All right, get our eyes on this.
There it is. Yo, look at that. Is that Sean from MacDuff's? Hold on.
A little more tattoos and beard,
That
maybe?
might be. Hiding under all that. Could
Making
be.
sure I got our goodies. Yes. Okay, and then there's the side label action too.
Font on the Northman and the side label's beautiful. I think these are the new tubs that are being offered from MacDuff's Soap Company. Love this.
Well, knowing what he did with the cedar, worst cabin ever kind of vibes, this is going to be more the green side, I'm guessing, maybe.
I'm just trying not to glance at these set notes, but they're making me excited. All right, let's have our northern first impression. All right, I want you to go first.
Think?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want you to smell this.
I purposefully didn't reread. I know way back when we just remembered hearing all the woods and stuff, but
So I know like furs. I know Douglas fir is in here, but that's really the only thing I remember. But y'all, you know me. I always put my flag in the MacDuff's with a tiny bit of a gourmand hiding somewhere in the underbrush. So I'm not entirely sure how a gourmand is going to meet with a fur soap. But let's see what magic and mystery and wonders might be hiding in
I'm
this
kind of excited too because right now we're in the dead of summer and there's definitely the heat outside, but it's kind of fun to be able to escape, hopefully, to a little more north here.
Winter wonderland, right? When it breaks 100 degrees in here. All right, let's see what we got.
Here's our lovely MacDuff
I'm going to
pour
back
here.
away so I don't get an accidental whiff.
Watch out, Lenny. Might smell good.
Well, it's trees. She might go right for it.
Oh, there's definitely a crisp, a green, a cold front going on.
Nice. Now, my first question, We did a few evergreens at Christmas time because it's Christmas time. Do you get a Christmas tree sense, a Christmas vibe, or is it more of a winter vibe?
It's funny. I was wondering that too because it has been a while, and I think that would be the lane time we really had one in this lane.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm just directly in a forest. It's definitely cold.
Nice.
But it does not have like a sweet side that would make me think of Christmassy or something there that really puts me in like a season. I'm getting more a location, like cold forest vibes, if that makes sense.
We're camping kids, y'all, so we know that a forest smells a little bit different than the North Pole, so that's kind of what I was hoping.
But there is definitely a realism to this.
Nice. Like in what way?
Like I really feel like I'm actually standing in the trees and they're wet from the cold and the fog. Like that smell is real. It's not like it's if you think of a fir candle that you get at Target, it is nowhere near that. Like I am literally in a real place.
Okay, so there's going to be like the wood and like the pine needles, but then is there anything else you can identify that might be in here?
First I thought it was like a spice, but I think it might be just the bark. Like there's something that texture is almost coming through somehow.
Y'all, different parts of the tree have different senses. Like the meat of the tree in the center has one sort of wet and woody sense. The bark has a different sort of a cinnamon sense. The leaves and the fruits can have a different sense. So are they kind of taking the different parts of the tree and putting them together?
I think that's making it seem like that's the real part I'm getting. I think that's what's in there because it's not just like when you cut through wood, it's like, a specific different type of smell. Yeah. This seems real. Like it seems like I'm in the forest. I'm not getting like, my brain was really searching for the gourmandy side just because we know MacDuff's can sometimes sneak those in. Yeah. I'm not really getting it as much as I thought. Like I almost thought my brain was trying to fill in the blanks, but I don't think I'm just crisp out in the air and it definitely could be more on the masculine side, but it doesn't have to. I think it's more the location.
I mean, look at the label.
But if I could kind of veer off to say it's clearly meant to be more masculine, but I think I'm still in a place. Like I'm where that dude's at. Right. Knowing the other winter-esque ones that we've had from MacDuff's, more the cabin side, more different vibes. Like this is its own type of scent. Right. It's not to be put in those categories.
Yeah, if this guy tells me to do something to survive, I'm going to do it. He knows what he's talking about, right?
He's survived a lot.
He's a manly man, right?
So if you're in the middle of summer and you need to cool off and go on an adventure, I think this may be a wonderful ticket.
Well, I am in the middle of the summer and I do need to cool off and I would like to go on an adventure. So thankfully we have these little tubs. All right, here we go. Ready?
I'm excited. Give it a whip. See what you think. I think what you were asking will make more sense.
Y'all.
It's real, right?
Oh, crap. Wow. That was instant. Y'all, the most fun parts of my childhood were spent in forests. Jedediah Smith State Park, Richardson's Grove, Big Basin, all over California. Portola. It's the last place we took my mama. Was out to the big trees,
Giant redwoods.
Y'all, there is just something about, if you are a camper, there is just something in those trees, in those groves, in those ancient places that soothes your soul. And there is something about this that has totally captured that. The Christmas scents are a little bit more about the apple cider and the pecans and the evergreens and those kind of things.
Maybe cranberry, yeah.
This is totally different. This is putting me in the middle of a forest in California. I mean, I know they're from Canada. This is putting me in those forests of my childhood because it has this bracing note of pine that's done so perfectly because again, it's not a pine like centered. That's one of the trees that you have there to discover. So I think like what he's done is taken different parts of each tree, put them together, and then put the trees together.
I'm with you. I mean, like that's why I said it's real. I'm in the forest. Like I almost didn't want to pull apart the trees because it was just so real.
Wow, y'all, when we smell soaps nowadays, we can kind of tell how much work was done to go into crafting this scent. And y'all, this is the same sense I get when I go to a museum and I look at like a Monet and I'm like, wow, I would have no idea how to even take brush to paper to start to create those things. This has this sense of like, I don't know how they would have even done that with scent oil or anything like that. This is wild. And like you said, this has a realistic side to it that whisks you away to those forests. This is not like a fragrance oil suggestion of being in the California forest. This is a real indication. This is like a realist painting.
Right, like if someone had never been to a forest and you had to paint the picture by scent to take them there, this would be the way to get them there. Like just smelling that.
Something under the pine that's grabbing onto it, and I think it might be a cedar. What do you get? I was
trying to figure it out. I almost didn't want to pull it apart because it was so real.
Right.
And then I was thinking like, okay, maybe the Canada side of scents are just a little different. So I kind of was trusting that.
And I kind of do you get the little bit of a note of like soil or like the forest floor?
But I think that's why I knew it was wet. Like I knew it was like a damp, you know, like the wetness of being cold.
Now, do you get a petrichor? Let's talk about that because damp forest, right? Hold on.
Maybe. More earthy, but it's not dirty.
Right,
Does that make sense? It's not. It's just, it's damp outside.
This is not done with the petrichor suite. So I'm going to put my flag in that. I don't sense any petrichor in this. So it's done that wetness. Hold on. Whoa, that is done with something else because the smell of wet, like oak leaves, that's petrichor. Yeah. This is more the smell of wet fir needles. Does that make sense?
Okay, or it's one of those, I don't think it's oud, but it's something like that. It's not leather, but it's something like the more masculine side's coming out now.
Right.
I don't know what that is, but...
There's going to be something in here that's a little bit unexpected and a little bit, I think, if it's even listed in the sentence.
It may not be.
That when we read it, we're like... What? But it's noses like this. It's perfumers like Sean that know, oh, you're making that recipe. You know what you need? This. And you're like, wait a minute, that? And it's like, yeah.
I know. I would never know. I mean, smelling that and knowing it's like the end scent that you want to get. I don't know how you could get here. It's clearly you nailed it, but I don't know how, as a perfumer, that you could even know, like, okay, I think I'm done. Like, I wouldn't know.
We were talking to Melody at Moon Soaps yesterday. We were talking about the lovely pineapple soap that we got from Sterling. And I said, you know, I'm almost sure there is a little bit of a floral in it. And she said, well, of course there is. We're like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah, you don't actually have like pineapple extract on your face. There's stuff that the perfumers do just to like bring it up to that place where your imagination can meet it and say, oh, right. That's the smell from my childhood. So y'all,
makes sense.
There are mysteries and wonders because the nooks and crannies in this are all speckled over. It is an incredible vibe of standing alone. Like there's a solitude sense to this.
That's a good word.
Right? Like in the middle of that grove, just being hugged by those trees, the way I used to wake up in the morning and
you're welcome
find
here.
myself there.
You know,
right.
like you belong here when you smell it.
I'm so glad you said that because that's the other sense that I get when I'm camping and that you don't really expect. That when you're going to drive 40 miles through a curvy road that makes you nothing but nauseous, that when you get there, you're going to feel a sense of belonging in that. Yeah, you do because you have the earth under your feet and because you're an animal of this planet. Yeah, you do.
And it's in here. You get that immediately.
Yes. Ooh, okay. So you know what? We could talk about this all day, but I want to know what Sean actually put in this. We're going to build a quick lather to make sure we didn't miss anything because we might have. Y'all, this is my captain's choice copper bowl. This is my aquamarine. I thought a fitting choice for the Northman. Very rustic.
I hate to mess up the pour.
Whoa, this is our super soft MacDuff's pour. We know Matthew Fox tub loads this, but we're not sure how.
He's not the only one we've heard.
Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but we just scoop. We're scoopers here. Yeah. There's some good stuff in there, that's for sure.
And we want to give a special shout out to Sean and Julie Smaldrich for saving our bougie situation and providing this from the shave supply yesterday. Thanks, you guys. To keep up the rustic theme, this is my Hemingway wooden brush, my only wooden brush.
That's
and
true.
it is ironically from Moon Soaps. All right, here we go.
All right, let's
Whoa! Sean, I am smelling this from here. This is crazy.
I forgot on the label there, it does disclose some things, so I'm not going to look.
Oh, does it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, there's just a few little hints, but this is the V5 base for those people that were asking.
Oh, Caleb, I think you went to the right place for this collaboration.
Oh, are things happening already?
I feel like I'm being taken to Canada. I've never been there.
Yeah, we don't even need to go over the border. We can just
who needs to worry about it? Let's just do this.
Which is funny, because isn't Sean directly, like, north of us?
Sean is, like, straight north of us.
But, way north. So, Northman really
right, fits. Northman. You just keep going until the air gets cold, and then that's where Sean is.
That's where Sean is.
Y'all, okay, I'm going to put my flag in. This has got about a 40% transformation in the lather of just coming to life in an amazing way.
Okay.
So this is something you will only find here in the Barbershop Duet. This is the Polaris whiff, the North Star whiff. Ladies and gentlemen, on 3, 1, 2.
Oh, you're right. Something in there. There, that middle part opened up, I think.
I like how this is a little more concentrated, but I like what it does here. What do you get in the lather?
There's something in the middle that it is really like the fresh air on your face kind of. Right. Like, I don't know how. Like, now I can get the depth of the forest. Like, there is something more of like a soil vibe and then up into the trees going on, maybe. Time to find out what those secrets are in the woods here.
All right, back to the sales page at Aylsworth Razors.
Opening with the invigorating evergreen notes of Douglas fir, fir balsam, Oh, and black pine.
That's that edge. That's that bracing edge. Because y'all, this goes a little bit beyond your normal pine.
Yeah.
Like this goes a little bit more into the, like the cool bracing sense of pine, right? The intensity's turned up just a little higher than you might think.
It does, because it almost has like a, I don't want to say a burnt wood, but a wet wood. Like there's something different. So that must be the black pine side.
And what I love when I see some frequencies over here turned up, it means there's some frequencies over here that need to be turned up too to balance it out. So there's going to be some surprises coming up. What do we have next?
All right, so more. The Northman takes you on an epic journey into the Norwegian alpine wilderness.
Yep.
As the fragrance unfolds into a heart of bergamot.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Oh.
Freaky lime is in this? Hold on. A citrus? Okay, wait. Yeah.
I mean, it makes it, the briskness comes through.
Right.
Like the chill factor.
Right.
I don't know how, but that makes it have that coolness to it.
Because, y'all, there's a natural sweetness to the forest. For sure. It's one of its defining characteristics, but you can't do it with sugar. You can't do it with caramel. You can't do it with the things you normally do. Right? So it makes sense they would bring in a little bit of a bergamot to act as that natural sweetness.
But then there's more surprising things.
There are.
Juniper.
Yo!
Okay. It makes sense.
Bracing, clean, wintry. I am all about that. This is making so much sense.
And pink pepper. Wow.
There you go.
Okay.
Just keep it a little bracing and on the spicier side.
But we are not done yet. It invokes the rich, storied history of ceremonial Viking rituals before setting into a stoic base of leather. There was leather! I was just saying.
Sarah was so right. Whoa!
I told myself it wasn't leather.
There was nothing to give that away, but there was. Look at that. And then
musk, a little masculine-ish, maybe.
And then Sarah was right. There's some oud in this, yo. Wow, she nailed this.
Whoa.
Love
okay.
That makes sense. I'm surprised at the leather. I'm surprised at the musk, but not the oud.
Yeah, because you were saying soil, and I was like, it's something that adds that dirty vibe, but it's not dirty.
And then
that's oud to me.
Credit where credit is due. Marcus was right.
Yep.
Cinnamon.
One day.
One of these days.
Okay,
Y'all.
see, there was more than just furs in here. We knew there had to be some things.
Phenomenal balance. You know what? And I love that in the shaving world. I love that when we got cedar, speaking of another wood from Sterling, we look down the scent notes and there's like lime in it. There's like other things in it. And you're like,
how?
What?
I mean, it works. You just would never know.
We got this like super amazing homage from Barrett of a vanilla, but without the orchid in it, you can't sense the vanilla. So like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
The magic in this are in these binding notes that you don't really sense right off the top because the pines and the firs are so amazing and so intense and so beautiful and so natural that once you get down to bees, they're just using it to bring out the senses of those pines in a better way. A little bit of leather, a little bit of musk. I think it's kind of one of those things without the coldness of winter, summer has no sweetness.
No, that's so true.
That's what they're doing. But what kind of leather are you getting? Is it kind of like a suede? Because I do sense it.
I think I was getting, like on the inside of a leather, like that underside is what I was thinking, because even just in, like the picture is kind of cluing into that, like man-made kind of a vibe.
I get kind of a spicy leather. I get kind of a workman's leather.
Yeah.
Like there's a little Wild West store here in El Cerrito and they've got like saddles and stuff like that. And that's kind of what it smells like when you walk in. It's it almost smells like leather that's been warmed by the sun.
Right.
That's what I get the sense of in this. Because it's kind of it's a Viking. It's a working man's
But that's
leather.
what I think
leather has to do something.
The realness comes out, like someone actually like with their hands made that leather come to like there's something about that kind of ruggedness that comes through.
And then at the end of the day, y'all, there is something so alluring about this that like it's not your run-of-the-mill scent where you're like, wow, that smells real. It's a scent where you go, wow, that's real, and it's beautiful. And I can't get enough. And I think that's the difference between like an air freshener version of a pine and something like this. Because when you're standing in the middle of an actual grove, you just can't get enough. And that is what it's waking up in me with this. This is not artificial in any stretch of the imagination.
I think because it's waking that up in you, we need to go deeper into this forest because there's more in here.
There might even be some ice fishing ahead, y'all. Let's go down. If this needed to be a Christmas tree, I guess guess it could. I mean, if you could cut down any tree and drag it inside, that's Charlie Brown. I guess it is a Christmas tree. But y'all, this is more of like an outdoor winter vibe than a Christmas thing for me.
And I almost get like, I know it's funny because we think of Canada and we just think of snow all the time, but that's kind of what I picture of like somewhere where it's cold longer throughout the year.
So glad you're here. Can you smell the snow in this somehow? Because we have seen that every once in a while. Like snow is a scent note. And I'm like, wait. Frozen water from the sky is a scent note, but it is. Can you kind of sense the snow on the trees?
I think there is not snow on the ground, but it's coming. Like it's not like I'm not hearing the snow crunching under my feet. Does that make sense?
Right.
But I know it's like that cold. Like it's about to be there.
Or maybe like the ground under your feet is wet, but there's still some snow on the very tops
right,
of the trees.
Like barely falling off. Something like that.
That's the sense I get. So like there is that little bit of snow in the air, but you're not like covered by it yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally got you. Just what is the scent of cold?
Like it's perfect timing actually that we are opening this for summer because I feel like this is the time of year we'd want to escape to that like coolness kind of side of things, you know?
100%.
Because I haven't been to Canada, so I can't really say this is a Canadian answer. But at least when I used to go to Tahoe and it would get to that coldness around, like you could just feel in your hands cold. And when you would look at the trees, there were like icicles hanging off or off the roof. Like that's a different type of cold.
Right.
And it's somehow still in my mind associated with all the trees around. And I think that's what you meant by the snow on the trees.
Yeah.
Like that is a different smell. It's a different time of year, a different season that's in the air.
Totally. You know what my brain just showed me was Sarah's dad came over the other day and he was looking at some of the instruments that I have on my computer. Mm-hmm. And I started by layering a little bit of drum and then I brought in a little bit of piano over the top and then a little bit of bass. And right about then, he could start to tell what the song was starting to turn into because I was kind of making it up as I went along. And then once you add more of the brass, once you add more of the top notes and you can really start to feel that song come together, your brain kind of goes, pow, because you're hearing all the parts separately. I'm playing them all separately, but hearing them all together and realizing how much more those notes are than the sum of their parts. When you hear that song come to life, you're like, that song came from those notes that you were playing. And y'all, most music you hear is not 50 guys on instruments. It's like 4. It's like 6. The Wrecking Crew. Y'all, are you kidding me? They can make this enormous sound out of a few cleverly put together different types of notes and instruments. And rarely in a shaving soap do I sense a song that is so clever that I'm like, if this was music, it would be a number 1 hit. Only because I know the piano. Let's be honest. I know the different instruments. I know the drum, but it's the way they're being layered and it's the way the different layers are coming through to make that orchestration of that song that when you smell this, y'all, this is something different and special in the way all those pieces have come together to form the perfect Tetris board.
And it's funny, like going back even just to the beginning to our first impression, I sometimes get so lost in that moment because I don't want to figure out what all those parts are because I am enjoying just the overall scent that's coming through.
Yeah. I had that too. Like I would just much rather enjoy the memory for just a minute of where this is whisking me away to than start to pick it apart instantly. But yeah, I had that sense too. This kind of took me to the banks of that little creek in Richardson's Grove State Park, you know?
So if you just had bought this in a store, which we don't ever get that option to go into a store and smell a soap, that would ruin an episode.
Right.
So we just have to go off of that. But if you were to walk into a store and you were to see this is what's on the label. Evergreen blend, bergamot, juniper, pepper, leather, musk, and oud. So you are given some clues, like if you should open it and take a whiff, like is this going to be in your lane? But I would say usually you should just take a whiff and see if it takes you somewhere, and that can help you decide like, okay, that's somewhere I want to be able to go more than just once. I need to have this in my deck, you know?
So y'all, it's pretty simple. When your mama lived her whole life in a little mountain town called Nevada City that was surrounded by the most beautiful pine and fir trees, and you go up to visit for her memorial service, well, you're going to have a little bit of a hard time saying goodbye to that tree line as you leave. But when you get home and the very next day, you get to open a soap like this and all of those beautiful evergreens and firs come rushing back to you. And you know that every time you visit your shave locker and smell this, you get to visit your mama's little mountain town. Thanks, Sean and Aylsworth. You just got your own. So head over to aylsworthrazors.com to find this and some of the best razors in the business. Y'all, Y'all, what a collaboration. Just a magnificent, rich, luxurious scent. And as deep as you want to go, like going into the forest itself. And y'all, here's the thing about this one. We put this on our faces just to shoot the review. And then we went for a walk. An hour later, I looked at Sarah and I was like, this is still on my face with the intensity as if I had put on a splash or an aftershave. And I only put it on half my face. Y'all, the longevity of this is absolutely fantastic. And the scent and the base itself, being the new version 5 base, has mysteries, wonders, and delights for you, especially in the post-shave feel. Aylsworth, Sean, home run, y'all. You gonna do another one?
Welcome to Messages!
Hey y'all, so Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements was one of the soap makers that inspired this show, and we'd like to share a little bit of that love so you can experience one of their seasonals for yourself. So, we are going to have a giveaway for a $20 e-gift card to Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements, and all you have to do to be eligible is send us an email here to wesetyou@thebarbershopduet.com. It is the only way that we will communicate with you about giveaways, and be a subscriber here on YouTube. Check back on
August 3rd to see if you are our lucky winner.
Yes, good luck, y'all. All right, y'all, so we don't do shaving here on the Barbershop Duet, but I do realize that when I watch my shaving channels, I love to see when they lather their face so I can kind of get a sense of how this lather covers. So, y'all, welcome to our new segment here. Can I do the honors?
Yes, please. Oh,
whoa!
Definitely luxurious lather.
Y'all, Krusty the Clown couldn't do any better with one pan. Look at this. This is amazing.
Wow, I do notice the different base a little bit. There is something you can feel right away.
It feels so good. It's not even a warm lather, but it just feels so nice on my face.
Yeah, this is one that I would definitely want to like have blooming in the bathroom, I feel like. It's one of those just scents you just want to engulf yourself in.
Y'all, and one extra reason to give your lather a little more love in the bowl is just to have another minute or two of aromatherapy as these oils and scents wash over you and whisk you away to far off places.
I feel like this is another one that we may want to get the splash for, just saying, because this is one when it wears off, I'm going to be sad.
Yeah, y'all, if this brings back some camping memories for you, put them in the comments. We'd love to know.
Yeah, don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
Ooh, you'll smell better just watching this.